Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Ritter at Channel 7 Eyewitness News, and I'd like to welcome you to Caring Kind's first ever virtual Forget Me Not Gala. Things may look different this year, but here we are as a community to support the families and individuals impacted by Alzheimer's disease. More than 5 million Americans have Alzheimer's, and Caring Kind has made its mission to provide tools and training and support to those affected by dementia. Tonight, we're going to feature the entire Caring Kind community, including clients and supporters and our inspiring honorees who have impacted our success throughout the years. Now, if you want to share your virtual gala experience on social media, be sure to use the hashtag CaringKind. We're gathered here for one reason, and that is to support the great work of Caring Kind. You can donate live tonight by texting CK Gala to 44321. That's CKGALA to 44321. With your help, Caring Kind can reach their goals. You know, this evening would not be possible without our truly cherished event chair, Rachel Posner. Rachel is here to say a few words. Rachel?
Thank you, Bill. We are so excited to have you with us tonight. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us for our very first virtual Forget Me Not Gala. We think it is important for our community to come together now more than ever. We are all here for one reason: to support those struggling with Alzheimer's disease and dementia, individually or as a family. And of course, a special thank you tonight to Jed Levine. Jed, you have dedicated your career to improving the lives of New Yorkers who are affected by a dementia diagnosis. We have been blessed by your leadership, and my family has been blessed by your friendship. We are forever grateful. We appreciate you making the change with us this year, and I would especially like to thank our visionary sponsors, Elaine Thomas and Joseph Healy, and our innovative sponsors, the Allergan Foundation and ASI, along with all of this year's gala sponsors for helping us be what we are, a caregiving community. We are here for you anytime, anywhere, and that is only possible because of the support we received from our staff, clients, and donors. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you so much, Rachel. And thanks again to our sponsors who are always here to support the Alzheimer's community. Now, it's my honor to introduce the chair of our board of directors at Caring Kind, David Hirsch.
Thanks, Bill. Good evening. As chair of Caring Kind's board of directors, it's my pleasure to welcome you tonight. We have a very entertaining program planned as we welcome some very special guests, including our dear friend, David Hyde Pierce. Tonight, we honor Ivan Chung, Global President, ASI Neurology and Chairman, ASI USA, with our Corporate Leadership Award, and celebrate our innovative Connect to Culture program, which during these unsettling times is helping to reduce caregiver isolation and depression through the power of music, dance, nature, and the arts. Through our free of charge programs ranging from Helpline, compassionate social work counseling, caregiver education and training, support groups, and a host of other programs in multiple languages, we want you to know that we are here for you, that you are not alone through this long journey of dementia caregiving. Thank you for being part of this special evening to raise funds and awareness for Caring Kind. Now, I would like to introduce our new CEO, Eleonora.
Thank you, David, for that lovely introduction and for your support. Good evening, friends and supporters of Caring Kind. I am delighted to welcome you tonight to Caring Kind's first virtual Forget Me Not Gala. I joined Caring Kind in June, and since this time, we have been working tirelessly to ensure that families who have been impacted by Alzheimer's disease and related dementias have access to the best in dementia care. These are highly unusual times, and our clients are among those at the greatest risk. Fortunately, there is Caring Kind, which has been working and guiding families for more than 40 years with the expertise and knowledge that is so crucial to caring for a loved one with dementia. In 2019, dementia caregivers provided an estimated 18.5 billion hours of care. 2/3 of these caregivers are women, and 1 in 3 caregivers is 65 or older, and 1/4 are the sandwich generation, meaning that they not only care for an aging parent, but also for children under the age of 18. Caring Kind ensures that these caregivers of all ages and ethnicities are given the tools, support, and resources to empower them to make the best decisions possible for their relatives while showing them the respect to care for themselves. Our priorities moving forward will be to sustain and grow our programs to meet the ongoing needs of the community. Dementia caregivers are more isolated, depressed, and stressed than any other type of caregiver. In response, we will embark on a new initiative, such as a caregiving wellness program, to ensure that our caregivers remain healthy, physically and emotionally well. We will also continue to develop state-of-the-art caregiving programs that set best practice that serve our home here in New York City, but also can be replicated across the country. I want to take a moment to give a special thank you to Ivan Chung and ASI, our corporate leadership honoree, Rachel Posner, our gala chair, and of course our fabulous MC Bill Ritter, who's been a supporter of the organization for over 25 years. And thank you David Hyde Pierce, who has always been a friend of Caring Kind. Thank you to our amazing board of directors, sponsors, staff, and of course our very own Jed Levine, who's created many of the pillars here at Caring Kind today. Thank you again for joining us and supporting us. We would not be Caring Kind without your support. Enjoy the evening.
You don't wake up one day with Alzheimer's. It's a progressive disease that starts years earlier.
Everybody thinks that it's just memory. It's not memory.
When somebody has this disease, everything changes.
This is not a disease that just affects the person with it. This disease affects the entire family.
And I think Caring Kind and the resources and support they provide can really help through that.
Caring Kind is an organization that has been for over 40 years providing services, resources. It's an organization that really can help you.
My mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I heard about Caring Kind through a friend who goes to Abyssinian Baptist Church, and that's where the support group meetings were. It's just helped me see like what I'm going through and what they're going through. It's like we're all in this together.
My husband was diagnosed 17 years ago with Alzheimer's, and I thought, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
My wife was diagnosed with Alzheimer's when she was 56 years old.
When someone is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it's really hard to plan. There's not really a guidebook or a set of instructions because everything is so different for every patient.
You don't have to be alone in this. You don't have to go through this yourself.
We are here to give you a hand. We are here to give you a hug sometimes when you need. We are here to support you.
If you're not a caregiver of some sort for someone with Alzheimer's, it is impossible to know what the caregiver is going through.
I noticed when Jason was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, everybody would say, "How's Jason?" I don't remember people saying, "How are you doing?" So Caring Kind, the name is perfect because they care. They care about the caregiver.
I love Caring Kind because they give me great support and all the resources I need for taking care of my husband. Oh, it changed my life because before I was very frustrated. I don't know how to handle him. But after taking the course, I know how to deal with it. It's just a wonderful service that's there for everybody.
I consider myself lucky in that I feel we were given 3.5 years of joy. And I feel Caring Kind supported me in a way that enabled me to at least try to make life fun.
I feel so proud. I feel so honored to be there, to be able to support these people.
I need every bit of help that I can get. It's just wonderful that it's there, that I just feel so grateful that they are there for me and for everyone else.
In 2017, I decided I wanted to run the New York City Marathon, and I wanted to run it for a cause, and immediately knew that Caring Kind was the organization that I wanted to support.
It is just monumental. It's monumental that funds continually be donated to them, that support is given to them, because the disease is not going away.
Caring Kind has had a tremendous impact on my family. If I did not have Caring Kind in my life right now, through the support group, my life would be much more difficult.
Thank you, Caring Kind, for the important work that you do.
Thank you, dementia caregivers.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for caring.
It is always such an honor, and I always love hearing what Caring Kind has given to our clients and our staff. It truly is a place for those to lean on in times of need. That is why your support is so important. We are already getting closer to our goal. Thank you to those who have already donated tonight. If you want to donate to our cause, remember, text CKGALA to 44321. That's CKGALA to 44321. It's that easy. Any amount helps families receive the support they need when dealing with Alzheimer's. Coming up next, we have a very special guest and a longtime supporter. Joining us tonight is primetime Emmy award-winning actor and director and one all-around mensch of a guy, David Hyde Pierce.
Hi, I'm David Hyde Pierce. I've been working in Alzheimer's causes for many years, and the main reason I got involved in Alzheimer's and dementia work is that both my grandfather, my mom's dad, and my own dad had Alzheimer's and dementia. So we had seen that up close and seen the effects that it has in our family. And once you've experienced it, it really galvanizes you to join the fight. Alzheimer's and dementia doesn't just affect the person who is suffering from it. It deeply affects their families, their loved ones, their spouses, their caregivers, even their paid caregivers. It's a particularly difficult, challenging, sometimes surprising kind of illness. Caring Kind has the word caring in its title. And the reason is that they understand that the caregivers, for them to be able to do their job in taking care of their loved ones, they have to be able to take care of themselves. And someone has to help them do that, and that's Caring Kind. They spread throughout the community in helping people, in getting the word out, and also in reaching out to state and local government. I have worked with them for so long. I know what good work they do, and I know how much that work is needed. And I also know that now this is an extraordinarily challenging time. For people with dementia, facing the added unknowns of a pandemic crisis, and for the people who are taking care of those people, the challenges are very daunting. And an organization like this is there to back them up. And that's why it is so important now, more than ever, to give them whatever support we can. Every time that a dementing illness finds another avenue of attack, Caring Kind finds another defense.
David Hyde Pierce, who doesn't love you? I love you. You are a mensch and a half, and we are truly grateful for all your support over the years, David. Thank you. Now, I'd like to remind you, you can still text in your donation. Together, we can continue to provide the programs and training so necessary for families who face the challenges of Alzheimer's caregiving. Now, our favorite time of the evening. It is here. We are so excited to honor individuals who have made a huge impact on our organization throughout the years, and I'm proud to introduce our corporate leadership honoree, Ivan Chung, Chairman and CEO of Eisai USA, a long-standing and generous partner of Caring Kind since 1996.
Ivan Chung, Global President, Eisai Neurology, and Chairman, Eisai USA, is being honored tonight with Caring Kind's Corporate Leadership Award for outstanding and dedicated support to ensuring that families affected by Alzheimer's disease and related dementia have access to the gold standard of dementia care free of charge. For more than 25 years, Eisai has been Caring Kind's staunch partner in supporting essential caregiver programs and services that have helped thousands of families as they navigate the challenges of dementia care. We are proud and delighted to recognize our outstanding partnership this evening.
Good evening. I'm very excited to be joining Caring Kind's Forget Me Not Gala virtually this evening, and honored to be accepting the 2020 Corporate Leadership Award on behalf of Eisai. I speak for all our employees when I say we're humbled and honored by this recognition, and are so grateful for our partnership with Caring Kind and their dedicated team of advocates. I think we can all agree that the global COVID-19 pandemic has shined a new light on the unique vulnerabilities of people living with Alzheimer's and other related dementias. We know that the coronavirus crisis has raised the burden and stress level of caregivers, limited or restricted visit with loved ones in long-term care facilities, and significantly increased already high levels of social isolation. New York City has been particularly impacted by the pandemic and has made delivery of care quite challenging, highlighting why organizations like Caring Kind are so vital in these times. We are incredibly impressed of how Caring Kind has risen to the occasion and quickly adapted to continue to provide emergency support, distribute important and credible health information, as well as essential services to the Alzheimer's community. ASI's human healthcare mission is our way of life. It means that we give our first thought to patients and their families by spending time listening, interacting, and learning from them. Our unwavering corporate philosophy inspires and motivates us to not only advance breakthrough medicines, but to advance care by providing educational and practical resource solutions to patients, their families, and healthcare providers. Supporting Caring Kind means ASI can help ensure patients and caregivers have access to information, tools, training, and the encouragement needed to live with this devastating disease. For 35 years, ASI has relentlessly pursued breakthrough medicines to slow down Alzheimer's disease, and Caring Kind has been our partner for nearly 25 of them. Year after year, your work and compassion for the thousands of families in New York City who have been impacted by Alzheimer's disease and other related dementias never ceases to inspire us to one day find a cure. On behalf of ASI team members in the US and around the world, we are proud to accept this award and stand as a willing partner with Caring Kind in our efforts to conquer Alzheimer's and related dementias together. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe.
Ivan, congratulations. And thank you, ASI, for your years of meaningful and important support. Now, if you know Caring Kind in any way, you know the name Jed Levine, recipient of our Lifetime Leadership Award. Who better to get this? Jed has dedicated his career to helping families affected by Alzheimer's, and for the past 30 years, he has served in leadership positions at Caring Kind and has created so many of the caregiver programs that Caring Kind is known for today. Here is Jed Levine.
Jed Levine, President Emeritus and Director of External Relations, is being honored tonight with Caring Kind's Lifetime Achievement Award. He has devoted 30 years at Caring Kind, ensuring that dementia caregivers are recognized and valued for the singularly important role they play in providing quality care to a relative with dementia. Under Jed's remarkable and inspiring leadership, Caring Kind embarked on new caregiver programs and initiatives designed to better the lives of families affected by dementia. Jed Levine is the heart of Alzheimer's caregiving.
Good evening and welcome. I want to thank the Board of Directors for this extraordinary honor. There are so many people to thank. First of all, my parents, who set an example of living a life of contribution and service, setting the standard of respecting everyone, including those who are disabled or who function and think differently. I especially want to acknowledge all the individuals with dementia, their caregivers, family and professional, whom I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with over the past 30+ years. As I often say, unless you've done it, you don't really know what it's like to have or to care for someone with dementia, how exhausting and demanding it is, how draining it is, how never-ending. I am so proud of the model we have set at Caring Kind to provide support and care for these unsung and often reluctant heroes of caregiving. It has been a real pleasure working with an outstanding staff over the decades. I truly enjoyed and looked forward to going to work, being with coworkers who have dedicated themselves to helping others. Many have become good friends, and I love that so many relationships have sustained even when some have left for other opportunities. I learned so much from my mentors when I first started in 1990, and under the leadership of Llewellyn Barkin, I continued to learn. I am proud that we have been able to mentor so many leaders in the aging and dementia field who carry our message of hope and resilience. I'm especially proud of how Caring Kind has risen to the challenge of responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, providing our services virtually, and being able to provide support and connection for caregivers who are especially isolated during this pandemic. Just as you can't care for someone with Alzheimer's alone, we never do this work alone. It truly takes a team of people, a network of support, and I'm grateful not only to my Caring Kind colleagues, but my professional colleagues from the Aging Services Network in New York and beyond. This is an extraordinary group of professionals who put the greater good above individual ego and credit. It has been an honor to work with all of you. And lastly, I want to thank my family, my sisters, my many nieces and nephews, and especially Jerry, my partner of 45 years, who has put up with many late nights or having to return to the city from Mohegan for yet another walk or event on the weekend, or my just dealing with one more email or managing a lost patient and a frantic person in the middle of the night. I love you and appreciate your patience and understanding that this was not just a job, it was so much more. I'm so excited about the future of Caring Kind under the leadership of Eleonora Tornatore, and look forward to participating in its growth and helping even more people find the haven that is Caring Kind. In the absence of a meaningful therapy, the best treatment for dementia is good care, and we have set the standard for that. That is where Caring Kind lives and breathes. It has been a privilege to contribute to the success of this organization. Thank you for this recognition. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Jed, thank you, and congratulations, well deserved. Your leadership, what a legacy you leave to this organization. Your innovation and your expertise has helped families in so many important ways, and we love you for it. I love you for it. Coming up next, we have a community conversation about our Connect to Culture program. Award-winning journalist Dr. Max Gomez is the WCBS-TV medical reporter and a good friend of Caring Kind. He has moderated our annual research meeting for many years and brings his unique blend of medical knowledge, dry wit, and a wonderful ability to translate complex science and research information into language we can all understand. Sharing his father's experience with dementia and a victim of financial abuse on TV, Dr. Gomez brought much needed attention to this serious issue. Max is deeply committed to educating the public and improving the lives of those with dementia and their families. Here is Dr. Max Gomez moderating a discussion with renowned clinician Dr. James M. Noble, Ellen Playford, and Meredith Wong.
Thanks, Bill. And I'm really excited to be leading this conversation tonight. So let me begin by introducing our distinguished panel. Let me begin with Dr. James Noble. Jamie, as he prefers to be referred to, is Associate Professor of Neurology at Columbia University and the Irving Medical Center's Taub Institute and the Sergetsky Center. Dr. Noble's clinical practice serves patients in Harlem and Washington Heights who suffer from dementia and other neurologic disorders. His epidemiologic and scientific interests include research on the impact of potential modifiable risk factors for dementia, including oral health and brain trauma, as well as the impact on non-pharmacological art therapies on the lives of persons with dementia and their caregivers. He serves as president of the board of Arts and Minds, a partner organization with Caring Kind. Next is Ellen Playford. Ellen is a wife, mother, and primary caregiver for her mother, who is both memory and visually impaired. Ellen participates in a Caring Kind Daughters support group and a research study at the Weill Cornell Alzheimer's Prevention Clinic, both of which she and her husband Lawrence support. As a violinist and opera lover, she also supports the Lincoln Center Moments program, a connection to culture partner in memory of her father who passed away from vascular dementia 3 years ago. And Meredith Wong, last but not least, who is a manager with Connect to Culture at Caring Kind. And she has over 15 years of experience in developing and implementing museum access programs for adults in disabilities. Meredith educates and trains teaching artists in New York City's cultural organizations how to best engage and support families impacted by dementia through shared creative experiences. Her background in accessibility and the arts brought her to Caring Kind to create a program that brings together the vibrant cultural resources in New York City and now beyond, and as well as for families impacted by Alzheimer's and dementia. Welcome all of you. And I have asked our panelists permission to address them by their first names so that nobody is insulted here. So we'll begin with that. Meredith, let's start with Connect to Culture. Exactly what is that?
It's a program that was in its infancy when I started at Caring Kind over 4 years ago. And because I come from a museum education background, working with adults with disabilities, I started with that network of people and reached out to them once I had my feet planted in Caring Kind's offices to say, I am in a position to support you, to help you, to train you, and also to connect you with the families that you're looking to support and bring into your institutions. So that, in a nutshell, what it's about. From then, it's grown over the last 4-something years to include programs at botanical gardens and now in the performing arts, and kind of just breaking into that.
So, Ellen, you've been through this. You're sort of living through this. What do you feel is the value of these kinds of cultural connections for people with dementia?
When I found out about Meet Me at MoMA, I went there with my dad, and it was just my dad and I. And it's hard sometimes to communicate, the line of communication, to communicate with somebody that has dementia. And for me, since he passed 3 years ago, it's such a wonderful memory. But I left so uplifted. About 4 months after my dad passed, I got my mom involved with Lincoln Center Moments, and she's really enjoyed that. And it's not just for, my mom has mild cognitive impairment. Mm-hmm. So I've had 2 parents now that I've ushered through this disease. You're constantly learning. And for me, the best coping and survival strategy is just to educate myself. So that's where Caring Kind has come in.
Did you feel that it made a difference to them?
It makes such a difference to my mom. It's the one thing that she really looks forward to.
Jamie, let's talk brain for a second here. What sparked your interest in it, and how is it that you think that this makes, that culture, arts, music, so forth, makes some kind of connection or gets through to people with dementia where most other things don't?
Great question. So I actually first got interested in this with a very different approach. I wasn't particularly focused on the impact on caregivers. I actually went to the programs at the MoMA and the Met back during my residency and fellowship training about 15 years ago with a specific interest of understanding how art was made by those affected by dementia as they went through the stages and progression. So I actually went to these programs interested in how art was created by people who were cognitively impaired. And I quickly realized that as scientifically interesting as that is, what I found really compelling were the family connections that were being made in the moment. I decided that this is the kind of thing that I want to incorporate into my practice, not so much to necessarily, impact the way the brain works or try to, stave off the changes in dementia, but really try to improve the quality of life of those affected by dementia as they're going through it.
So, Ellen, as we said in our introductions, you play the violin for pleasure, right?
Yes.
So how does that play into, do you think, not just your enjoyment, but your mother's enjoyment of music? You talked about the museum, but what about the music side?
I brought my violin over to my parents' apartment when my dad had less than a week to live. And the only way I could really communicate with him was through playing the violin. So it was a comfort to my mom, and it was a comfort to my dad. As I played, his head would nod side to side on the pillow, and I could see under the covers his feet and his toes moving. And it was an incredible experience to just kind of send him off in that way.
So Meredith, the one thing that I think I've noticed in all of this is whether it's the visual arts or music also needs to be culturally appropriate for the individual. For example, we could play classical music for my father and it wouldn't mean much to him. Tell me about that, and how do you figure that out with people?
Your second question is kind of the million-dollar question. So it takes a little bit of research. It takes conversations with the caregivers, paying close attention to what they're saying, how they're saying it. If a caregiver says, oh, my father grew up not in the United States, but in a different country. We might integrate that into a conversation or even to a program component, like a music component that programs are starting to do. It's making that connection. If we're talking about music specifically, it's making that connection between the sound and the memories connected to that sound. So the idea is across the board, whether it be music, dance, and with visual arts, it's the visual reminder of a memory that someone might have had, like playing in a garden if they're looking at a Monet. We're of course not going to be able to get their life story. But if there are interests or professions that person might have had or done in the past, and there are opportunities during that program to bring that person into the conversation. And when I say conversation, it's really more interaction, because we're not only talking about words. If someone is in a nonverbal state, but can still express facial expression, body expression, gesture, all of that is welcome and encouraged.
So Jamie, you mentioned that quality of life clearly is one of the benefits of this program. Do you see any clinical benefit?
I will have patients who come to me and say, you know, these programs made a huge difference in my life, and, you know, things would be so much worse if I didn't have them. And, you know, maybe that's treating some element of depression or helping them, you know, get out and go to something that they wouldn't ordinarily get out to. So there's a natural physical therapy of just having an additional activity. I don't want to pretend that we know too much about the cognitive benefits of these before we really do. There's some small anecdotal studies that suggest some benefit, but we really need large, well-designed studies to say something more definitive. But clearly there is a benefit that we see time and again, especially for caregivers who either see their own mood improve or reflect on their family members, their own moods improve. We're always hopeful that this is not going to be about kind of, you know, an endless series of medications that don't work. We're actually hopefully leading into a new generation of really disease-modifying therapies, maybe sooner rather than later. And it's likely that these programs are going to have the same, if not even greater role in these people's lives, because we anticipate that these medications may actually extend life. And so there may be actually more time spent in perhaps earlier stages of dementia, but these programs will have even greater relevance and a broader audience to help. So, you know, even, I don't see these as mutually exclusive things to even ongoing research initiatives, but really complementary and supportive.
What I always like to do sort of at the end of these kinds of webinars or whatever, is ask each of our panelists for a little take-home pearl of wisdom, a take-home lesson. And Meredith, as the sort of the director of these programs, why don't you go first, please?
I would say take advantage of these programs. They're only going to grow. They're going to diversify. That's one of my goals for the program, is to help diversify the types of programs, the disciplines where these programs take place, and also the locations. In New York City specifically, there are whole boroughs that don't have these programs available. And we are working together with people like Arts and Minds and all of our other cultural partners to see if we can kind of break into those communities, because there is need.
Great. So Jamie, you had a couple of seconds to think about it. How about a pearl of wisdom?
You know, I think all too often my patients, they say, well, you know, should I be doing crossword puzzles? Should I be doing this, that, or the other? And I don't want to give the people here the impression that everybody has to go to an art museum. And some people may say, you know, that's really not for me, or even going to a concert or playing music. But there's something that you or your family members can help reconnect with that will fill those moments of the day that are currently empty. So don't feel like you have to do something that somebody has told you, that you have to do, you know, 18 crossword puzzles a day every day, and that's going to save your brain. There's no foundation in science, but we do know that people who use their time in leisure in cognitively stimulating activities seem to have some benefit. And I think the other point to be made is that there's no downside to it, really. You know, it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's a day at the museum or a day doing something else or a day connecting with one's family, which is really what life is all about.
Exactly. Nice. That's a pearl of wisdom. Ellen, you have walked in the shoes, so I'm going to give you the last word.
I would say to experiment, to give something a try. Just dabble in it. And you'll really be surprised. And I think the best thing about the programs that both my parents have been involved in is that they always ask for feedback, which I think is so great, to ask the participants to take a survey right after, maybe that, within the next day, and they strive to make their programs better. I mean, that Lincoln Center Moments program went from a pilot in 2016 of 2 concerts to such demand that they have 6 concerts per season. It used to be just at 1 o'clock, and now it's 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. So there's tremendous demand out there for these types of programs. And I'm just so happy. I feel so fortunate to live in New York City and to have access to so many diverse programs.
Thank you, Ellen. That's a good parting thought here. I want to thank our other panelists, Jamie and Meredith, and my little pearl of wisdom to take home is that life isn't over for people with Alzheimer's or dementia. There is still enjoyment to be had, both for the individual and for the caregiver. And there is help out there. There is help out there from Caring Kind, so please reach out. We can help you. Thank you. Good night, guys.
What a fascinating, interesting, and intriguing discussion. Thank you all for your participation. And Dr. Max Gomez, thank you for leading the conversation. Okay, it would not be a New York City event without a performance. Caring Kind has partnered with the New York Pops to bring music to those suffering from Alzheimer's. Here to close out the night is violinist Karen Diani, orchestra musician and teaching artist with the New York Pops, a Connect to Culture partner. Enjoy. That was so beautiful. Karen, I could listen to you all night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your lovely performance. And don't forget, it's not too late to get involved. Just grab your phone and text CKGALA, that's CK Gala, to 44321 to help support our work at Caring Kind. That's it. Thanks to our board, our chair, our sponsors, our clients, and our community supporters for making this night possible. A virtual night, the first we've ever done. A special thanks to our honorees and to the partnerships that make Caring Kind the wonderful and important community it is. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for donating. And thank you for being a part of this very special night. Stay safe, stay healthy, peace, and take care of each other. I'm Bill Ritter. My honor to be here, and wish you now good night.